name is Christopher Gillen, and today I'm interviewing Mr. John Hess. He's a 1979 graduate of Jesuit, and he got a degree in engineering at Tulane University. He moved to Germany in 1985. Why did you move there?
Well, I actually moved there to pursue a job in engineering with the Army Corps of Engineers. There weren't a lot of jobs at the time in New Orleans. We had a bad economy, and because of the oil industry was in distress, and the Army Corps of Engineers was hiring people to go overseas to work on the military programs and build military bases and basically win the Cold War.
What city did you live in?
I lived in a little town called Heddernheim, but it's on the outskirts of Frankfurt, Germany.
Why that exact city?
Well, that's where the office was. We had maybe 1,400 Americans that were working there, and then we worked with the German government to build up the military bases around the country, not only in Germany but throughout Europe, in some of the NATO bases as well.
What kind of work did you do?
I was a civil engineer, basically worked with geotechnical engineering, which is with soils and foundations for buildings, roads and bridges, and mostly working with designs for hospitals, child care centers, maintenance facilities, Army ranges, and all of the facilities that house the American troops overseas. Those were the types of projects we worked on.
The Berlin Wall came down in 1989. Did you ever see it?
I sure did. I had friends who lived in Berlin, and we used to travel there quite often to see them. And we'd go to the wall. I have pieces of the wall at my house that was rubble from where they had torn it down. And I remember that very clearly. It was November of 1989, because that's when Europe started to see peace. There was a negotiation of peace treaty with the Russians, and so that's when East and West Germany combined.
It was in East or West Germany.
I lived in West Germany, and so we used to have to go through a series of checkpoints to get to West Berlin. If you remember, West Berlin was a walled city, so there was a big wall around it. So to go from West Berlin, West Germany, we'd have to cross through East Germany to get to West Berlin. But I lived in West Germany.
Did you have a problem with the language barrier?
When I first got there, it was pretty tough, living in a foreign country. Good thing was I had 4 years of German in high school at Jesuit. So I knew a lot of the words, but I really needed to learn some more. My boss had a German wife, so he helped me out and sent me to school at the Goethe Institute. So after working each day, I would go to the Goethe Institute from around 4:30 to 6:30 each night and learn more German. And I did that for about a year and a half. I could get around pretty good, but it was tough at times.
What were the popular food and drinks?
Food and drinks, a lot of meat and potatoes. They ate a lot of pork over there, and a lot of schnitzels, which is pork. They also ate a lot of sausages, wurst, and they drank a lot of beer.
One of the biggest celebrations is Oktoberfest. Have you ever been?
I've been to Oktoberfest. I was in Germany 5 years, and I've been to 5 Oktoberfest. In fact, these are some of the Oktoberfest mugs that brought back from Germany. And these are collectible mugs, and these were the ones that they served the beer in. And this was a German beer stein that I decided to keep as a souvenir.
are some of your favorite cities?
Favorite cities would be, of course, Munich. I like Frankfurt. Cologne is there's a big church, cathedral in Cologne. Berlin, which is the capital city of Germany now, since the reunification of Germany. And those are the Rothenburg and Nuremberg.
What was your favorite out of all of them?
Probably Berlin, because it was at one time a great city, and it was split and torn apart, and then it was eventually reunified. It's a very modern city now, a lot of reconstructing and building, incorporating the East Berlin with West Berlin. It is a fantastic city to visit.
What is, did you have a chance to visit any other countries and in cities in those countries
I did.
in Europe?
Being in Frankfurt, it was centrally located, so we could go for the weekend up to Amsterdam, up in Holland. We could go to Bruges in Belgium. We could go skiing in France or to Paris. We would go to Austria, over to Vienna, and we go down to Italy, and it was really a lot of fun. You could, in Switzerland, you could get very easily move around to multiple European countries from Frankfurt.
What was your fondest memory of living in Germany?
My fondest memory was when people would come to visit. We would go on trips, and we would collect these little souvenirs from all the different towns. And this was my hat when I was over there. And I was a much younger man back then. And we used to go walking in the woods. They called that Volksmarching. And this was the hat that my dad had. So we'd go marching and walking around and visiting cities and enjoying the culture and enjoying visiting with people from a foreign country. They were very, very friendly towards Americans.
Did you have much time off of work to do all that kind of stuff?
We would go on weekends. When you live there for 365 days out of the year, there's plenty of time. I had plenty of vacation time, and we would have holidays, and when people would come from the United States to visit, I'd take special time off.
Have you ever returned to Germany?
I did. I returned to Germany in 2004. My office asked if I could return and help them for one summer. So I spent three and a half months working. Yeah, the office had moved to Wiesbaden, but I worked in Germany working on some projects. So I was able to return, and I really enjoyed it.
Did you see any major changes?
Yes, I did. I noticed that right after I left in 1990, of course, the European Union formed, and Germany played a prominent role in the leadership for the European Union. So not only did they have to pay a lot of cost for reunifying the East Germany into the West Germany, which costs a lot of money, but really Germany is one of the true economic drivers in the European Union, and they hold leadership roles. So what I noticed was that Berlin was just alive because they moved the capital city from Bonn, Germany, over to Berlin, and I noticed there was loads of construction going on because they were rebuilding Berlin into the capital city of Germany, which was going to be one of the most prominent cities in all of Western Europe.
And how did the German people accept Americans?
They accept the Americans very well. I think we share a lot of the common values of work and entrepreneurism and trying to work your way to get ahead They're very favorable towards businesses and understanding that there is a need for social assistance, but majority of them, they understand like Americans that you.
In closing, is there anything you would like to say?
I would. I think that my wish for all the Blue Jays in your class and classes to come, I want them to understand the value of learning a foreign language, be it Greek, Spanish, German, Portuguese. Understand the value of learning a foreign language, and also, once you've spent the time learning the language, go visit the country. I think you'd be amazed at what you'll find trying to converse with the people in a foreign country using their foreign language. I hope that for you, and I hope that for all your classmates. So you want to learn a song?
Sure.
How about a German song?
Okay.
Okay, you have to listen real quick. In München
In München
steht
steht
ein Hofbrauhaus.
ein Hofbrauhaus.
1, 2, Gesufa.
1, 2, Kasufa.
All right, grab a mic. We're going to sing together. In München steht ein Hofbrauhaus. 1, 2, Gesufa. Now you're ready for Oktoberfest.
Mr. Hess, I want to thank you for this interview, and hopefully I will be able to go to Germany someday.
Well, good. I enjoyed it, and in Germany we would say thank you, Dankeschön.
Danke schön.